in our state board. We want to teach Tamil history, we want to teach Tamil culture.
Sagarika, you are asking a very narrow question.
The West Bengal board, that's exactly what they're saying. But the West Bengal board is leftists are exactly saying that.
Let me what is there to teach in mathematics in Bengali which is different from any other language?
No, history.
No, one second. No, history is the only.
History,
economics, nothing.
Literature.
No, 1 second. Mathematics, physics, anthropology, biology, chemistry, there is no difference. The only difference is history and
that is why we're looking at curricula. That is why we're looking at curricula.
That's all. You can teach whatever you want to teach.
Why do you want to fight this battle, Mr. Sibal? Do you think this should be in your top 10 priorities, making a national board? I think it's a great idea. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, it's not it's the long-term interest of the country.
No, I agree with you.
We're talking about the country.
No, hang on. I'm just saying that putting a nice national board is not going to solve the problem that the process of learning and teaching is broken inside.
We'll get to that.
This is not even part of the 100-day agenda.
Yeah, it is.
No, that's what I'm saying. Why?
No, because you raised the question, I'm answering it.
Let's take a straw poll here. How many of you here are in favor of a national board?
See?
We're all the majority. Is there anyone here who's not in favor of a national board? Right, you have the consensus here.
Yeah.
But the
it's a long-term thing. It's not.
But you see, politically that is difficult, isn't it? I mean, you've got your state governments at different levels. You've got state.
No, but I want to say,
No. Is it about the examination or is it about what you're going to want to teach?
Let's start talking about that. In fact, let's talk about that. Let's take a short break at this point and talk about how can we across the board raise the quality of education that we are getting and how can we ensure quality education for all. That is what Mr. Sibal, Charity Minister Kapil Sibal. Next big question we're asking, this is one of the reforms, of course, but it's the objective of the reforms. How to ensure quality education for all. Quality education for all. Education that is geared to the needs of the economy. That's the big question we're asking. I know this is a huge, obviously a big task, but your first thoughts on it?
My first thoughts are that I'm very, very, very depressed by the fact that we don't have quality teachers in this country.
Yes.
Yeah. This is one of the biggest challenges that this nation faces. And unless we have quality teachers, we won't get quality students. Right? And so I think the next revolution that is to take place in the education sector is to get quality teachers. Right? Now that, and I don't think that salary is the issue there. The issue is how to impart the kind of training that is necessary for them to understand the sensitivities of a child and how each individual child has a genius in him and how to push him forward.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the biggest challenge, and I would like you to suggest to me as to how to meet that challenge.
I want to quote one educationist who I read actually yesterday. India today needs an autonomous academic standard setting regime, one that is outside the direct administrative control of the ministry or its ancillary bodies like the NCRT, because the National Council for Teacher Education is moribund. So you need an autonomous agency of experts. So do you accept that the ministry has to then recede, has to retreat?
See, I am least concerned about retaining power or conceding power. The issue is we must achieve the objective, whatever it takes.
Yes.
So I'm less depressed than you are, but you have a much bigger task. I feel like there have been examples in the country over the last few years of big change, which is possible with existing, infrastructure, existing people. While we need to upgrade teachers, upgrade parents, upgrade children, we still can't lose too much time. Because my child who's in 5th today, by the time all this process happens, he will lose out. I want to draw attention to examples of states like Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. These are not, hugely, academically sort of advanced states like Tamil Nadu or others. And I feel on the very basic stuff that, I deal mostly with primary education, on basic arithmetic, basic reading, basic comprehension, they've made huge strides every year. And for the, Madhya Pradesh is a huge state. They have 47 or 49
But let's get some a word in from our audience as well. I mean, what the minister is saying about enhancing the quality of teachers. Who here feels that it's because of teachers that they have suffered? They have suffered because they have always had bad teachers. Go ahead, sir, in the mauve shirt.
The main problem India is facing in education is the least people who don't get into any other sector get into teaching. That's what is happening. That's why you don't get the cream of any society into the education sector. So what do you do?
I'd like to make a comment on that. There is a huge talent shortage, but you have to also look at things that we're talking about states. I'm looking at the metro. In the metro itself, when I have to appoint a teacher, the people who are coming across are people who are doing it from some correspondence from somewhere. They don't have the foggiest. Yes. There are no proper B.Ed colleges. So we have to, as a government, you have to sort of create these situations where there are institutions where teacher training comes into being. It's not there.
It's not a problem.
Teachers. It's archaic. It's archaic.
You need to set up.
The course is archaic.
You need to set up an independent academy.
That's right.
Which sets up standards, right? And then you need teachers training institutes where you have public participation, public-private participation, right? All over the country.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear from the audience.
We have to make education a passion and get people of the right talent. And it's best done is through accredited body, analyzing all the kind of education system and make it a public-private partnership.
That's the worst possible idea, by the way. Can I please
don't make education a passion.
No. Can I make two constructive suggestions, please? Because one of the things that I do is go to small schools all over the country and teach teachers how to do things better. I have two suggestions for you, Mr. Minister. First, don't write off the 6 million teachers of India.
Yeah. No, of course not. I'm not writing off.
I know you're not. No. But it's easy to criticize and you're not going to be able to push them into the sea. We have to work with them. You need content-focused training. Not Lala training, content-focused training. Teachers themselves are not able to write grade 8 exams.
The schools that have teacher resource centers should be there.
Just one more suggestion and then I'll keep quiet. The second is we need an Indian teacher service. We need to build in that respect, credibility.
That is a very good idea.
Not the issue anymore.
The Indian teacher service, like the Indian Administrative Service.
I would also like to propose that why should only children have to take exams of whatever sort? Why can't we have a certification that teachers have to take every couple of years?
Yes.
Make it as broad-based and you can do it at any time. But I want to be taught by a teacher who's been certified within the last 5 years to be up to date on whatever it is.
It's happening all over the world.
Yeah. I just want to make it clear, I have great respect for the teachers who are teaching. We have some wonderful teachers all over the country.
Yeah,
and so we should not be seen to be criticizing anybody. I'm only depressed about the fact that the task is so huge, that we need a lot of people with the passion that you talked about, who go into teaching, and because ultimately India will be great only when the teaching but we have quality teachers.
It's about conceptual
today in India over the last few years we've had money, at least in primary education or elementary education, that we've never had before. This unprecedented money is available in Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. We all pay 2% education cess.
And nobody complains.
And nobody complains. 20 days of training is permitted for every single government school teacher in the country. We just have to make the best, most effective use of that. And states which are doing that, you're beginning to see results.
And I think Rumi, there's just one thing here, that just throwing money on teacher training, which is happening in SSA.
It's not enough. But let me get a word in from the gentleman there who's been waiting for a long time.
I think that you are the first person who has been looking into this nitty-gritties of the education at the very basic levels. And in fact, in this place, I have to say one thing, that I have come across many news items when teachers are not paid in the country, they are not drawing handsome salaries. In certain states not paying for 6 months altogether. So do you expect those teachers to impart, in the states, where they don't even draw the salary?
Not standardized. Even the 6th pay commission is not being standardized.
The 6th pay commission has been pretty
There's so much of variation.
In fact, the private schools, some private institutions really underpay their teachers.
That's right.
Yes, they do.
Not the government.
It has still
the government schools pay them a little better. Much better. But I think a very important suggestion has come out. That teaching should be made like perhaps the Indian Administrative Service. As prestigious, as sought after. Not bureaucratic, but as prestigious. That's a good one. Don't make it bureaucratic. But as prestigious and as hotly desired as that kind of top quality job. I think that's a very, very interesting suggestion. Let's come